Writing a CV is something most of us have done at least once in our lives, but have you ever thought that it's your name on the CV that stopped you from getting the job rather than your work experience? Apparently, some employers do discriminate against people's names, and now certain companies have agreed to accept job applications on a name-blind basis. And essentially, this is about trying to prevent companies from discriminating on black and minority and ethnic groups, you know, because sometimes there's evidence to suggest that they will. Are you aware of that, Jamelia?
I definitely am. I have many friends who are university graduates in particular, and, you know, they may have identical or even better qualifications than their white counterparts and have found it much harder to get the same jobs. And the only difference is the name. And I actually do think this is a good thing. I think that if you're gaining someone based on their qualifications, I mean, it's wrong to discriminate because of the names anyway, and it shouldn't have to be done. But the fact that people are having these adverse
reactions.
I think it kind of needs to be done.
Janet, you're probably the only one of the four of us who's been in a position to employ people.
Yeah, I think this is a good move, and it's great because David Cameron's recommended that the NHS, the BBC and councils all over the country take the names off applicants. But I think it's just not really going to make a huge amount of difference, because as someone who employed a lot of people, you look below the name and you look down through the CV, and there are a couple of things that are, you know, big mistakes, which is if people apply for a job and they're not in any activities, they're not in a choir or a club or doing things with other people, you tend to think, I don't want them because they're not team players. If they're stamp collectors or computer gamers or something, you think they're loners. But the other thing is, and I would say this to people watching, that if you've given your kids wicky-wacky names, they are not going to do well at interviews unless they're incredibly articulate.
That's what I'm going to call my third child.
Well,
wicky-wacky Adam.
All right, let's take dear old Wayne Rooney. Now, I'm not criticising Wayne Rooney, but Kay, whatever they call Kai and Clay. I mean, unless they're applying to be bricklayers, I mean, that's not a great...
I mean, it's interesting. A comment, and Becky says, I don't think people are judged on their names at all. You can't tell much about a person purely by only their name. But you're saying you would be able to tell something about somebody.
Only by reading the CV, and I'd have to go further and look down the CV. So I'm not criticising those children for
Would you allow then? What kind of names would make it past
let me go through your children's names.
Right, OK. All right, right. OK, well, I've got Charlie, who's a girl. So she's...
Confusing for starters.
And I've got Bonnie, who's a boy.
Bonnie is a lovely...
No, he's a girl.
Bonnie's a lovely name. It implies warmth, friendliness. I don't know if she's like that, but that's what Bonnie says.
Bonnie's going to get a job with Janet.
Come in.
I've got Kira.
Kira, great. Kira Knightley?
Oh, yeah,
could
be. And I've got Shane.
Kira's a classy name. Shane.
What's wrong with
It depends what he's applying for.
Oh, that's true. Jake.
Jake, yeah, not bad.
All right. Come on, Jamelia.
Jamelia.
Oh, no. Well, I made up my children's names for number one, and their names
You made them up? You couldn't find a name like...
No, I wanted them to have unique names. I wanted them to stand out.
Okay,
so, but,
right.
now I'm not so sure.
Come on, Jamelia.
So I've got Tasia and Tiani.
I'm not criticising your girls' names, but Tasia and Tiani.
Yeah.
Do they like their names?
They love their names. They love them.
I think they're nice.
Yeah. Oh, Janet. It has to be
you
said.
Can't say anything horrible.
You're really Janet.
I can't say anything horrible about your children.
No.
Because I love you so much that I will not criticise your children's
let's have
names.
a hug.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far.
The truth is, it doesn't matter what your name is. You've just got to work hard at school to get the best job you can.
I wonder, and I'm not going to let you even answer this, Janet, because we've got to move on, but would you get a different reaction if you put in a CV saying Janet Bull, which is your real name, or Janet Street Porter?
I get a better job with Street Porter.
The old double-barreled.
That's right. The minute I got a double-barreled man, I used his name.
Are you listening, love?